All right, part 2 in the 35-hour saga of this test review. All right, so some of these questions are different and weird. So I'm going to solve them I'm going to try and do them relatively quickly. I'm going to talk my way through them. But yeah, because this thing's going to take 35 hours otherwise. I think this is actually 2 different worksheets that I'm doing here, but I'll figure it out. I don't know what just happened. Okay, so anyway, so let's get started on this right now. Okay, so we have this first one. It says, on Saturday, you bowl at Mar Vista Bowl. We're renting shoes. I'm going to start highlighting because there's a lot here. You bowl at Mar Vista Bowl, where renting shoes costs $2 and each game is $3.50. On Sunday, you bowl at Pins, where shoe rental is $5 and each game bowled is $3.25. If you spent the same amount each day, how many games were bowled? This is actually kind of an 8th grade question, kind of not as much an algebra question. Okay, hold on a second. This is actually, like I said, it's more of a, one second, I'm sorry. This is more of an 8th grade question. But the way that I taught that when I did 8th grade, the way that I did this was I said, okay, it says I'm spending the same amount each day. Same amount each day. Okay, so that means I'm going to have something equals something. Okay, now what's going to be the same? It's going to be Mar Vista, the Mar Vista cost, and the Pins cost. They're going to be the same. So I'm going to write an equation for Mar Vista. I'm going to write an equation for Pins. Well, Mar Vista, whatever, is where shoes cost $2. So shoes cost $2 and each game is $3.50. That is a really dark highlighter. Holy smokes. Okay. And then at Pins, where rental is $5 and each game bowled is $3.25. Now, then the question is, okay, what do I repeat? Well, it says $2, shoes are $2, each game is $3.50. You know how you see the $2 and each right next to each other? Remember, the shoes cost $2, each game is $3.50. So that's going to be 2 and $3.50 each. Well, they say G, but whatever, same thing, okay? Now at Pins, shoe rental is $5. And Minnie, I only rent shoes once. I have to rent it for every game. So I have $5 for shoes, and each game is $3.25. So $3.25 for each game. And then all I'm going to do is solve it. But I'm lazy, so I'm going to let my calculator solve it for me. Okay, so 2 plus $3.50. Oopsie. 2 plus $3.50. And again, it's possible my calculator can't do it for me, in which case I will have to do it by hand. But if it does, great. 5 plus 325x. So what keeps happening? 2 plus, oh my gosh, good Lord, you guys. I'm just going to do this over again. So 2 plus 350x equals 5 plus 325x. I don't know what that last thing was. And now I'm going to go look at the table. Now, I know it's not negative games, so I'm going to scroll for a while and see. Oh, there it is, and I'll see if I can find a 1. And I did right there at G equals 12. And remember, I want to show, again, unless you want to not get credit, you want to show where you found it. So I found it, and I'm going to do I'm going to do the rows around it so I can prove, hey, Miss Deal, this is how I knew it was right. So I have 11, 12, 13. 11 was 0, 12 was 1, 13 was 0. That means 12 has to be the answer. This is your work, okay? That's your proof. If you show me that, you're going to get credit for it because you're showing me what tool you use. And again, you stick it in the calculator. The calculator just gives you an answer. You have to be able to interpret that answer. You knew that the 1 meant it was true, okay? All right. This question is so hard, mainly because I don't like what these answers look like. But I can kind of do half of what I do and look at their answers to figure it out. So let's take a look at this. Here's what I would have done for this one. I'm going to be honest with you. Here's how I would have solved this. I would have rewritten this since I see whoops, sorry. all of their stuff over a number, except this one, I would have actually done that too. I would have, you remember how like 5/9, it's hard to explain. This is a really hard question. How about this, guys? You're not going to see anything that's hard on the test. This one is hard, and the reason it's hard is because what I got was F equals 9/5 C plus 32. That's what I got. And the actual answer for this one is A, for anybody that did it. And you got to do all kinds of crazy stuff to make it work. So like what you have to do is multiply everything by 5. You get 5F equals 9C plus 160. Then you divide by F again, and you get that. Okay, this is a complicated one, and this just goes to show you that one of the tricky things about literal equations, especially when there's fractions involved, is that you could wind up with a variety of answers, but you're not going to see anything that's hard on the test. So like, try not to stress too much, okay? So it's a solve and check this inequality and then graph the solution. I'm going to just for the heck of it, y'all, I'm going to check and see if I can find this in my calculator. 9, whoopsie, second window. Nope, window, clear. 9x minus, hold on a second, parentheses, x minus 2, close parentheses. That's x plus 2, isn't it? X plus 2, second math, greater than x plus 19. Oh, wow, there's a lot of ones. Okay, and all the ones. Now, this is where it gets tricky. Okay, so you remember how like when we put in the calculator, we have x and y1. We look at the number above it and below it. So I have, okay, so if it's greater than, that means it can't be equal to. So I can't have 4. So it's got to be greater than 3. Oh, that's really weird. Wow, yeah, this is a tricky one. We had said something in the beginning, Ms. Schulteis and I had something written down, and it's kind of weird, but if your sign is greater than or less than, you're looking for the first 0, and that's what you build your inequality on. If it's greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, you're looking for the first 1, and you build your inequality. So if this said greater than or equal to, then I'd look for the first 1, and I'd say x and 4. I'd say x something 4. If it was less than or equal to, if it was just greater than or less than, this is hard to explain. This one might be good to solve, I'm just saying. Okay. But if it was multiple choice, you'd be looking for the sign first. Okay, it says Erica has to spend food for a birthday party. The birthday cake will cost $22, and she also wants to buy 4 bags of mixed nuts. And some of you are probably thinking, like, why are there so many equal equations? Well, because we also did equations in this unit. We just have been doing it for so long that we didn't go back over it. Okay, so it says she has $50 to spend for food for a birthday. I'm sorry. The birthday cake will cost $22, and she also wants to buy 4 bags of mixed nuts. She has $50 to spend for food. Okay. So she's going to spend $50. So she has a birthday cake, which is $22, plus 4 bags of mixed nuts. Now, how much could she spend on the bag of nuts? That means I need to know 4 bags at what rate. So I'm trying to figure out how much she's spending. And she has $50 to spend. So could she spend more than $50? No. Could she spend exactly $50? Yes. Could she spend less? That's got to be less than or equal to 50. So I'm just going to solve it. That's 50 minus 22, 28. She could spend up to $7. And again, I could say she could spend $4 or $3, but it says how much could she spend? She could spend anywhere between $0 and $7. So if she happened to have a coupon where they were like literally free, or she found some in the parking lot, she shouldn't use those, then she could totally do that. all right? But she could spend up to $7 on those, okay? And they have 7 greater than or equal to X, but I don't think that answers the question. It's a word question. I need to have a word answer. Okay, now this one says solve the literal equation for Y. All right, so I'm trying to get, let me see if I can maybe move this in just a little bit closer. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to write, but you know. Let's see if I can just get one line with the stuff on here. Okay, maybe that's a little better. Okay, so this time I want to get Y by itself. So I'm solving for Y, so I want Y by itself. That means I got to get rid of this X. Now some of you are using the strategy where we move it across the equal sign and change its sign. That's fine. Just don't forget when you go across the equal sign, you got to change the sign. This zeroes out. I have 2Y equals negative X plus 10. I'm going to put a 1 in front of that X because I'm about to divide. When I divide by 2, I get Y equals negative 1/2 X plus 5. Remember, when I have a fraction, when I have what looks like a fraction and when the X is on top, I can rip the X off and slap it on the side. And this is the answer that we get for that one. All right. Okay, let's go to the next page. Yay, we might be getting somewhere with this one. Okay. It says Max is solving the equation 4 plus 4x minus 5 equals 12x. Which of the following are the correct first steps in finding the solution? So remember, our steps are in our notes, which unfortunately you can't use on the test, so I hope you got them memorized. But our steps say we always distribute first. So it's D. D is the only one that says to distribute. I could subtract 4 from both sides, but then I would have to divide. So I could theoretically, if I wanted to, I could subtract 4 from both sides, but that's not going to help me. It's not going to help me get X by itself. In fact, I'm moving a number over where the X's are, and I want to keep them alone. Adding 4 plus 4 is wrong because order of operations says I would have to do this first. Dividing both sides by 4 could work, but then it says add 5 to both sides, and that 5 is still going to be in the parentheses. Distributing is the best first step. Well, actually, I don't even know if this is right. So I would divide both sides by 4. I would have 1 plus 1 minus 5, 1 plus 1x minus 5. I'd still have to deal with this 4 here. Okay. Anyway, that's a terrible idea. Don't do that. D is the best step. Okay, now, these questions are kind of tricky, okay, because when you look at them, it's kind of confusing because, like, for example, say I do the work, like I do my steps here. Oh, there's no more distributing. So I get 4x equals 6x plus 24 minus 2. It looks like it's wrong here, but really when you do these, what you want to do is you see them happening on the next line. So what you want to do is when you do that distribution, you want to write it next to this step. So maybe do your work over here. So I have 4x equals 6 parentheses x plus 4 minus 2, and do the work. 4x equals 6x plus 24 minus 2, and then write it next to the line below it. 4x equals 6x plus 24 minus 2. They have a 4 and I have a 24. So this is where I see the mistake. So again, the step, this is where I saw what to do, and this is where I actually did it. What I see a lot of people do is they think, oh, well, like they're one step behind constantly. So like maybe the mistake was here, but they did the work next to it on this line, so I think, oh, step 1 is where it happened. This tells me what to do. This shows me what I actually did. So like I said, what I do is I do my work over here, and then I write the step next to it, and then I compare them to see which one matches. There's another one. Actually, hold on. Let's just jump to this one really quick, number 15, so I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so for this one, the first step is to distribute, right? So I'm just going to rewrite this. 6 parentheses 8 minus 3n less than negative 2 3 plus 6n. And then I'm going to actually, and it looks like they did all their distribution together. Like they did all the distribution in one step. So 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times negative 3 is negative 18n less than. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Negative 2 times 6n is minus 12n. And then I'm going to write that right here. 48 minus 18n less than negative 6 minus 12n. And I'm going to compare it. It's good, so I know it's not step 1. And I knew it wasn't step 1 because there's no option for that, but I still check it. Now I look at what they've got left. They have 18n left behind. So that means they must have gotten rid of this 48 next. Now, even if those aren't the steps I would take, I'm still going to do what they did, because if I do what they did and I get the same answer they did, then I'm kind of on the right track. Okay? So this zeroes out, leaving me 18n. I don't know what negative 6 minus 48 is, so negative 6 and negative 48, it is negative 54. So negative 54 minus 12n. Okay? So I write negative 18n less than negative 54 minus 12n. This step is good too, so I know it's not A. All right, now I look. They have negative 6n by itself and equals, so they have negative 54 by itself over here, so that must mean they added 12n to both sides. Well, negative 18 and negative 12 is negative 6n less than negative 54. Negative 6n less than negative 54. Step 3 looks good too. All right, so you kind of see how I'm doing this? Now they have n by itself, so I divide by negative 6. n, so negative 54 divided by negative 6 is 9. Now when I look, when I divide by a negative 6, my sign flips. And so I got n greater than 9, which is true. Now, this is what they're hoping that you'll mess up on. They're hoping that you'll forget to flip the sign here and say, oh no, it should be less than. No, there are no errors. The problem was worked correctly. No, that's not usually what happens. Okay, but sometimes it does. So we kind of gotta, again, this is the strategy that I would use on these problems. All right? Okay, so let's go back to number 8 so that we stay in order. Good Lord. Okay, the length of a rectangle is, we're not doing this one. This is a system. I'm not doing this. Yeah, we're not doing number 8. This question is better saved for next unit. Okay, so I'm not even going to worry about it. But if you did it, the length was 80. So length is 80 and width is 30. So if you happen to do it, go you. You're like a step ahead. All right. Okay. This one says which equations are equivalent. I don't love this one, but what we got to do is we got to simplify them. They're clearly in various stages of simplification, okay? So I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to write it down. So 2, well, if I distribute, I'm just going to start it up here because I'm too lazy. 12x plus 30 minus 10x plus 4 equals 40. Oh, hey, look at that. So 1 and 3 are equivalent. I know that. Oh, well then it's C. We can keep going if y'all want to. And it looks like, but do we have to? So it looks like what this one did was they combined the 6x and the 5x and they got x plus 15. This one has 15 minus x, so that one's wrong. But again, why did I circle C? Because if 1 and 3 are equivalent, there's only, so this one only has 1, so this can't be it. This one, these both have a 2 in them. It has to be 1 and 3. This is the only one that has both of them. It's got to be C. I don't even have to do anything else. So again, every single time you do a step when you have multiple choice options, you want to check those options because they might let you stop early. And who doesn't want to stop early, y'all? I want to stop early. Okay, otherwise, you're solving all 3 of these to see if they give you an equivalent answer. Nobody got time for that. Okay, you don't have time for that because you have 17 questions to answer and you have 50 minutes to do it. Okay, so you're always looking for, especially with a multiple choice option, you're always looking for a way to stop early. Now on a question like 10, you have no choice but to continue. Okay, so for this one, much as I despise it, my first step is to distribute. So I have negative 1/2 b minus 1 plus 3b equals negative 1. Now, I saw a lot of people making a mistake here. Remember, I'm not subtracting, I'm not adding 1/2 to, if I'm adding 1/2 to both sides, the both sides are both sides of the equal sign. So if you find yourself forgetting that when we're on the same side of the equal sign, we're combining like terms, you need to put that wall. If they are on the same side of the wall, you're adding them, not subtracting them. Okay? So I'm going to write negative 0.5. And honestly, I don't even like that fraction, so forget all that nonsense. I'm going to multiply everything by 2. I just drew a bunch of arrows. So 2 times negative 1/2, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1b. 2 times negative 1 is minus 2. 2 times 3b is positive 6b equals 2 times negative 1, negative 2. And the reason why I multiplied everything by negative 2 is because I'm scaling up the equation. So if I don't do it to everything, I can't do it to anything. I have to do it to everything for it to stay equivalent, okay? So now, when I circle all these b's, they're on the same side, so I'm adding them. Negative 1 plus 6 is 5b minus 2 equals negative 2. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides because I'm trying to move this over the equal sign, okay? I get 5b equals 0. And some of you think, oh, no solution. No, because I still have a variable. If I still have a variable, even though that variable looks like a 6 right now, if I still have a variable, I keep going. B equals 0. That's my answer, okay? Remember, if it equals 0, I keep solving. A lot of you go, well, the 2 and the negative 2 cancel it out. You don't write anything. Write the 0. When they zero out, they equal 0. Okay? All right, so that's that. Let's look at number 11. A store had, oh my gosh, this one is actually an easy question, but it looks crazy. So it says, a store had quilts on sale for $20 off the original price. Okay, so I'm just going to write on sale for $20 off the original price. Grandmother Ethel jumped at the bargain, and she bought a quilt for 5 members of her family. Okay, so she bought a quilt for 5 members. I'm just going to use the same one. She bought 5. She bought 5. If she paid $3.75 for all the quilts, what was the original price? Okay, so the original price is what I'm looking for. When it says what is the original price, that means the original price is the thing I'm looking for. That's X. Well, it says she got them on sale for $20 off the original price. So that means she took the original price and subtracted 20 from it. That's how much the quilts cost. So how many quilts did Grandmother Ethel buy? Well, she bought 5 of those. And how much did it cost? $375. Well, now this isn't very hard to solve. I distribute the 5x minus what, 100 equals 375. I add 100 to each side. I get 5x equals 475. Divide both sides by 5. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to do that in my head because why? I have a calculator. 475 divided by 5. That's not anything. 475 divided by 5. What is happening? 475 divided by 5? Is that right? Yes. The original price is $95 per quilt. Okay? Now, am I right? Well, 95 minus 20 is 75. And if I do that 5 times, I get 375. So I can check my work just by thinking through the problem. All right? Now, which inequality has a solution represented by the graph below? You will see some of these number lines, and this is 8th grade math, which you learned last year, okay? But here's what we do. So if we look at this, I have a dot, a filled in dot going that way. So if it's filled in, it's going to be either greater or less than or equal to, okay? Well, so I know it can't be this one, and I know it can't be this one, so it's not B or C. Okay, now, you see how on these number lines the arrow goes like that? That means, you see how this arrow also goes like that? That means this is the symbol I'm looking for. Now, remember though, when we're solving an inequality, So this means x is greater than or equal to whatever that dot's on, which is negative 3. This does not mean that this is my answer. So I'm going to put one of these, because remember, I could have a sign flip. So this inequality being greater than or equal to does not mean the answer is D, because when I'm solving an equation, I could have a sign flip. So I'm going to go to my calculator, I'm going to put this in and see if I get answers bigger than or equal to negative 3. So I have x minus 6, and this is less than or equal to 15 plus 8x. And these answers are greater than or equal to negative 3. Okay, because I see my 1 starts at negative 3, and it gets bigger from there. Let's try this one. 28 minus x greater than or equal, greater than or equal to 7x minus 4. Uh-oh. See, if I look, you remember how when we said if it was on the value we're looking for, it's, I see 111, that can't be it. I don't even know what the answer to this is. Oh yeah, this is less than or equal to 4. That's not it. So this is another way that you can check your answers. Okay, so if you solve something and you check it, you can check it by looking to see if you have 0, 0, 0 or 1, 1, 1, something's gone wrong. If your arrows, if your numbers are getting bigger and you think they're supposed to be getting smaller, something's gone wrong. Okay. Oh my goodness, which is equivalent to this one. This one I did not like. Okay, 5. Okay, so I'm just going to start solving it. 5 plus 6x minus 8 equals 12x minus 11. Okay. When I combine my 5 and my 8, I get 6x minus 3 equals 12x minus 11. Okay. If I move these over here, I get negative 6x, because 6x minus 12x, sorry about that, minus 3 equals 11, sorry, negative 11. If I add 3 to both sides, I get negative 6x equals negative 8, which is like nothing I see, right? But I see this. So if I divided everything by negative 1, I get 6x equals 8, which is B. I know, y'all. I know. Okay, let's try this one. I'm solving for y, so that means I want to get this by itself. So the 12x I got to subtract. Negative 3y equals negative 12x plus 15. I divide by negative 3. If this was an equation, my math senses would be tingling because I'm dividing by a negative, but for an equal sign, flipping the sign doesn't make a difference. Y equals 4x minus 5. Okay, and we already did number 15. All right, so let's go on to the next part. The next part has some inequality stuff happening. And there's a lot of good multiple choice stuff happening on this, this other stuff here. Let me find this, because again, I'm keeping the review right in front of me because I'm not trying to make a big old mistake, although, let's be honest, it's not like this would be the first time. Okay, so first of all, is there any useful information in the answer choices? I see greater than, but I don't see any or equal to, so I know that's not going to be it, okay? So let's start solving. I need to leave this y by itself, so I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. I have negative 2y greater than negative 3x plus 10. If I divide both sides by negative 2, I get y. What happens when I divide by a negative? My sign flips, so I can immediately cross off those two. All right. So negative 3 divided by negative 2 is 3 over 2. These all have 3 over 2. But this one's positive. This one's negative. Okay. I'll just keep on going. Plus 5. Wait, what? Oh, divided by negative 2. Sorry, that should be minus 5. Bad Maggie, minus 5. So it's this one. So you notice how as I went along, every single step I did, I started trying to eliminate stuff. As soon as I flipped my sign, I eliminated anything that didn't flip its sign. Again, I'm trying to keep potentially confusing answers like out of my face. because, I mean, technically, these two look the same, but if I eliminate that right away, then I'm not going to get myself distracted by it. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all of these. I'm sorry, because, like, hello. But what you're going to do for this one here and this one, for both of these, you're going to, oh, wait a minute. I'm going to do one of them, and then I'm going to tell you the answers, because, I mean, like, we don't have 85 hours for me to do all of them. Okay, so I'm going to plug in y equals -3. Okay, well, first of all, do any of these not have -3? Oh, this one doesn't, so it's out. This one doesn't. You see, it says y is -3. Well, these three don't even have y -3 as part of their y value. So it's not these three. So just by looking for what they gave me y equals -3. These don't have -3 for y. I've eliminated 3 answer choices. Go me, because I'm awesome, just like you are. Okay. Now I'm going to start plugging these into the inequality. So I know that these all have -3 for y, so I'm going to plug them in. So 3 times -9 plus 4 times -3, because I'm using this one right here, should be greater than or equal to 15. Well, I'm going to use my calculator for that one, because lazy. Oops, hold on here. 3, remember, when I'm testing a point, I do it in the home screen. When I'm trying to find a solution, I use the y equals screen. So 3 times -9 plus 4 times -3 should be, what is that, greater than or equal to 15. That is false. So I don't circle this one. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to do all of them, but I'm going to tell you that, okay, that didn't work out like I thought it would. That this one and this one are the only true values in this one. Okay. Now what we just did is the exact same strategy we're going to use to solve number 3. We're just going to plug in, plug in each value. So 4 times 4 minus 2 times 4, is it less than 8? You're going to plug it into your calculator just like we did here and see what you get. I will tell you right now that those two are correct. Okay? All right, let's look at this one right here. Okay? This one says, which inequality can be represented by the graph below? So the first thing I'm going to do, this one is kind of tricky because all the answers look really weird, and then there's this B. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and write an inequality, but remember, I'm going to eliminate things as I go. So if I sign the line, I know that my slope should be negative. Okay? I have a solid line. So that means it's going to be greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. Well, that didn't help me. Thanks for nothing. Okay? Now, if I were to write an equation, but okay, it's the above the line is shaded, so I know that this is the sign I've got. So if I write this in y equals mx plus b format, I have y is greater than or equal to, my slope is going downhill, it's down 1, right 1, so negative 1x, and my y-intercept is b, and it's positive because it's above the line, plus b. Well, I got real excited about this one. Unfortunately, the sign's going the wrong way, so it's not this one. I got real excited about this one, but wait, what did I do right? No. This one has the right sign, but the slope is the y-intercept is negative. This one has the right slope and the right y-intercept, but it's got the wrong sign. So that means I got to turn this into standard form. Yuck. So if you notice on these, the x and the y are on the same side of the equal sign. So I'm going to get the x and the y on the same side of the equal sign. So I have x plus y greater than or equal to b. There it is, it's A. So again, I let the answer choices kind of be my guide, and then I try to eliminate every chance I can get. I tried to eliminate the boundary line, it didn't help me. I picked the right sign, it didn't help me because I didn't have anything in slope-intercept form. I wrote my equation, but that allowed me to eliminate 2 because they weren't correct. Every step along the way, I'm eliminating. I'm trying to find the right answer by finding the wrong answers. Okay? Okay, first of all, this one says less than or equal to. So again, I start by looking at the boundary line. That did not help me. Okay, so now I'm going to use a test point because I see 1, 2, 3. So 2 of these don't include 0 and 2 of these do. So I'm going to use 0, 0, and I want it to be false. Okay, so I'm going to plug it in. So 4 times 0 plus 2 times 0 less than or equal to 10. Well, I mean, I can see that that's 0 less than or equal to 10. But 4 times 0 plus 2 times 0, okay, should be, that's not it, less than or equal to 10. That is true. So I want the ones, I'm looking for it to be false. Wait, what? Hold on a second. 0, 0 is true, so I want the ones where it's true. Well, these two are out because it's not true, so it's got to be one of these two. Okay? So next step, I got to find a point where it's in one of them but not the other. And I want to use a point where it's like 0, 0 or something like that. Now, you could solve for y. 100% you could do that, okay? But if I look on this one, the point 3, 3 is not in the shaded area, and on this one, the point 3, 3 is in the shaded area. So this one, it's true. This one is false. And just like on this one, 0, 0 was false. Okay? So I want to see if that value is true or false. So we're going to do 4 times 3 plus 2 times 3 less than or equal to 10. Okay? So I'm just going to arrow up and select that. I'm going to change all the zeros to 3s because I want 3, 3. Again, the reason we use points where the x and y are the same is because we want to make it easy to substitute. Well, this is false, so I want the one where it's false. Okay, does that kind of make sense? I think actually labeling the T and the F really helps. Sorry I didn't teach you that in class. My bad. Okay, let's go to the next part. Okay, so for this one, they just want you to graph it. Okay. What do I know? I know it needs to have, so I need to know M and B. I need to know the line and the shade. Well, I don't have M and B here because this isn't in slope-intercept form, so that's a real bummer. All right, so I need to turn this into slope-intercept form. 3x, and again, you could do the cover-up method. Y'all don't seem to like that for some reason because I guess you like to do extra work. So I'm going to get this y by itself, so I move the 3x over. 2y greater than or equal to 6 minus 3x. When I divide both sides, everything by 2, I get y greater than or equal to 3 minus 3/2 x. So I know that b is 3, m is negative 3/2. Don't forget that negative is part of the number. Okay, my line, since it's or equal to, is solid. I shade above because it's greater than. So I put a dot at 3. My slope is negative 3 over 2, so I'm going to go down and right. So down 3, right 2, down 3, right 2, down 3, right 2. I guess I could put a dot there too. Where is this thing that I was using for a line? Okay. And it's a solid line. I don't need to dash it. I'm shading above, so I put my pencil on the line, draw an arrow up, and that's where I'm shading. Okay, let's try this one. Ew, yuck, this one is awful. Same thing, okay. I know this time I need my M, my B, my line, my shade. Now, since it's not in slope-intercept form, I can't tell what my shade's going to be. The only thing I can tell right now that my line is going to be dashed. Okay, so I got to convert it. So 1/4 x minus y less than, I'm sorry, just less than negative 4. So I'm going to subtract 1/4 x. I get negative y less than negative 1/4 x minus 4. Now I need to flip this, but if I flip this, because the negative y isn't what I'm looking for, I want y by itself. So if I flip this, I got to flip everything, including the inequality sign. Okay, so now I see greater than means I'm shading above. My slope is 1/4, which means I'm going to go up 1, right 4. My y-intercept is 4. So I start at 4, go up 1, right 4, because I could also go down 1 and back 4 to get the other lines. Okay, they're dashed, so I'm just going to kind of lightly do some dashes so I can see where the line is. And it says shade above, so I put my pencil on and draw an arrow up. If it was shade below, I would put my pencil on and draw a line below. All right, and that's what my inequality should look like. Which coordinate pair is in the solution set for y greater than 2 minus 3x? Now, they give you a graph, but don't we know how to do this with substitution? So in this case, now this is where you got to be careful. Okay, now I'm going to try these two first because I know it doesn't matter whether or not it doesn't matter whether I substitute in. I'll tell you there's only one answer for this. This is like a straight multiple choice question. So I plug in 2 greater than 2 minus 3 times 2. And then I'm just going to stick it in my calculator again because I'm super duper lazy. 2 greater than 2 times 3. Wait, nope. 2 minus 3 times 2. That is true. And just for the heck of it, 0 greater than 2 minus 3 times 0. 0 greater than 2 times 3 minus 0 is false. You know what? I'll just do these two. Y is 4 greater than 2 minus 3x, which is negative 2. 4, negative 2. This is also false. And we'll do this too. 0 greater than 2 times 3, x is negative 1. Also false. Again, you could have graphed it and plotted the points. I would have done that in a case like this, like where they gave me a graph. Then I would have plotted the points. But if they didn't give me the graph, I'm not going to do it. It doesn't tell me I have to graph it. I'm not going to, they're giving me options. They're saying, hey, if you want to graph it, here's a graph. If you don't want to graph it, you can solve. Or again, we have a calculator. Let's use it. Okay. Ooh, we're almost done, y'all. We're in the home stretch. It says your class wants to raise more than $3.50 for the freshman party, and you choose to sell candy and cookies to accomplish this task. You earn $6 on each basket of candy, B, candy, and that is a dark highlighter. Holy smokes, y'all. And you earn $3 on each box of cookies, C, that you sell. Write in inequality. So I know that I have 6B and 3C. Now I got to figure out this inequality sign. If I have more than 350, can I sell greater? Yes. More than 350, can I sell exactly? No, and I can't sell less. Greater than 350. So if the number of boxes of cookies sold is 78, how many baskets of candy will you need? So candy is B and cookies is C. So 6B plus 3 times 78 has to be greater than 350. So I don't know what 3 times 78. 78 times 3, 234. 6B plus 234 is greater than 350. Minus 234. 350 minus 234 is 116. 6B is greater than 116. Divide by 6. Oh gosh, I get B is greater than 19.33. So now we need to think about this, okay? If it's got to be bigger than 19.33, my instinct is to round down to 19 and say B is greater than 19, right? But it's got to be bigger than 19.33. Can I sell part of a box? No. So I actually have to say 20 baskets of candy, because I have to think about this situation in terms of both domain and range, discrete and continuous, and in terms of the inequality. All right, let's look at this very last one. Oh my gosh, y'all, here we are. Okay. So is the graph at the right connect? So let's see. It says I'm sorry, I can't use this blinding. I'm going to use green and green, the blue is so dark. Ishmael is going with some friends to eat and wants to buy some of their meals and appetizers. Each meal costs $7, and the appetizers are $5 each. Ishmael can spend less than $35. Now, which variables am I going to use? Well, it tells me here. Appetizers are $5 each, so that means appetizers are Y. Food plates are $7 each. Wait, hold on a second. Yeah, the meals are X. So this is X. So 7X plus 5Y less than 35. Remember, we do our greater, equal, less than, and less than is the only one that's going to be circled. So let's look. Is the graph at the right correct? Well, I'm going to solve for Y. So I'm going to move this over to the other side. 5Y less than negative 7X plus 35. Divide both sides by 5. I get Y less than negative 35X plus 7. My y-intercept is 7. My line is dashed. I'm below. I go down. I'm sorry. What? No, I don't know why I put negative 35. Negative 7/5 X. Sorry about that. That's negative. So I start at this. I go down 7 over 5. Yes. That graph is good. So basically what they're asking me is to find 4 combinations. So literally I could buy nothing. I could buy, and this should actually say appetizers, but whatever. I could buy 1 food plate and 2 appetizers. I could buy 4 food plates and 1 appetizer. 3 food plates and 2. I could buy 2 food plates and 3. Could I buy 2 and 4? Yeah, it looks like it. That's under the line. Barely, but it is. So they're saying give them some combinations. So the ones they had in the answer key were 3 plates and 2 appetizers. They said 2 plates and 3 appetizers. They said 4 plates and 1 appetizer. Any combination, but remember, I can't have parts because they're not going to sell me parts. Any combination that's in the shaded area. All right, that was a long review, but again, I talked my way through it. Yeah, this is going to be a very long review for you. Should you choose to do it, again, you do the parts that you need to. If you have questions, please let me know.